I'm telling you, you're going to say, Leann, you're making it up. There was absolutely no possible way that all of this could have possibly happened. And he tells me, so, you need a new engine. I say, excuse me? Well, hello, my friends. Thank you so much for hanging out with me tonight. I thought I would do a little get ready with me, because I just have a lot to talk about. And whom better... Who? No, yeah, it is who. Me, the English person. Yeah, who better to talk to about it, well, than you guys, because most of the time you guys can relate. I know I slurred my words there. Definitely not drinking. Only drinking a peanut butter iced macchiato or something like that. But who better to talk to than you guys? Lots of times you can relate. Makes me feel a lot better. Hopefully it makes you feel better. And you know, I can only say, this is my life. I'm going to be playing around with a lot of different products today. The highlight, which is going to be the palette, is going to be the C'est l'Amour palette from Gourmande Girls. This came out quite a while ago, and I did get it quite a while ago, but you know, with all the chaos in my life, I never got a chance to review it, so I'm going to be doing that. I did place like an Ulta Points haul, which I also thought that I was going to review, and of course I didn't, so we'll be using some products from there. Anyway, I'm going to step off and just do like my moisturizer and stuff because it's close to 6:30 at night. This stuff is only coming off in a very short amount of time, so it's going to be quitty pickin' easy. That's one of the things we're going to talk about, how... Oh, anyway, I'm going to step off. I'll be right back. Jeez. Okay, so while I try to figure out the lighting, try to keep this mirror at a... Winter's playing the piano. By the way, let me finish my statement, and then I'll address that one. I keep trying to figure out how to have enough light in my mirror being able to see. I desperately need a new ring light because it's not working. Still trying to figure it out, and... Winter likes to play the piano. She walks across the piano at apparently all hours of the night, and one of my neighbors said, so was that you playing the piano the other night? I'm like, nope, I'm definitely a musician. Definitely know how to play the piano. That's my cat. You might be saying, why doesn't Leann close the cover? Because it's kind of broken, and once I close it, it is very hard to open. I've tried asking her not to. Winter! This is my life. On my face, I'm currently using the Good Molecules silicone-free priming moisturizer. I'm almost done with this. It's probably like up to here because it's one of those airless pump things, so it goes from the bottom to the top. I love this. I received this in PR quite a while ago, and I want to finish it up. It's great for just quick, like, throwing stuff on, you know what I mean, that I don't have to futz with a primer as well. It's not super moisturizing, so if I was going to do an all-day thing, I would use it. But I'm also using the Farmacy Cheer Up Brightening C Eye Cream. It's rather like liquidy. It's like a yellow color to it. But I just found it in one of my boxes. No, I still don't have everything unpacked. We won't go into that right now. But anyway, I've been using it. I pretty much like it. Again, it's not tremendously moisturizing, but it does feel pretty good. The first thing I have to do is put something moisturizing on my lips because they are like the Sahara Desert. And I picked up, look how cute the box is, for goodness sake. It's on a little ice cream pop. But it's the Too Faced Pillow Balm Pop. Get it? Pop. Little Christmas set. It came with 3 of them. One of them is in my purse. It's kind of like a pinky. Here are the other 2. One is kind of whitish and it looks like it has a bit of multi-chrome iridescence to it, and this one's more of just a beigey color. This one is called Cocoa Kisses. Kind of smells like a fake chemically chocolate scent, and it goes on kind of like a whitish beige, but it blends in. Now these are talked about endlessly on YouTube, and they're very nice, but again, get me wrong, but I don't know, for me, when I hear stuff, I like expect a miracle for some reason. I'm gonna color correct and everything, but I really don't think I'm going out anywhere. It's Friday night. You know, I'm such a party girl that I'm getting ready to go out and have a great time. No. No, I'm not. So anyway, I am rocking my Halloween shirt because by the time I get this up and edited, it'll probably be Halloween. Anyway, I had purchased this Pacifica A Light Foundation. This is not a new product, but to me it's new because I had heard quite a bit about it. And this is a cute little adorable brush from Real Techniques. Whatever collection it's from, I don't know, but I could not resist the little glitter. People suck me in with these things, what can I tell ya? And you think she's a little yellow? Well, we'll work with that now, won't we? Oh, you guys also know that I really don't curse on my channel, only because I feel that, I mean, I watch people who curse on their channels all the time and everything, but it's not like it's worth it to do it all the time because you'll get demonetized because it's not considered ad friendly. And then I'm not going to just to curse unless it's like a really specific point. I have cursed on my channel a couple of times. Okay, I will say this goes on really nicely with a brush. I'm liking it quite a bit, even though she's just a little bit yellow. I'm going to make it work. My point was, if you hear me drop a few curses, it's because they're warranted at the moment. So obviously I've moved, I've talked about it already. I'm currently editing the very last video that I filmed in my house, and I'm still debating whether or not I'm going to put it up because right now it's rather innocuous at the point that I'm in where I'm editing it. But I do get extremely emotional, and I know some people don't like to necessarily see that. And remember, the whole point of these videos is not to complain and not to make it seem like I'm the only one going through it at the moment, but I feel like I'm talking to friends, and you know when you're talking to friends, you vent about things and you talk about your life, and that's my channel and that's what I do. So I'm hoping that the video will be well received and well understood. And this really does look quite nice on my skin. I did not tell you what the color was, and let me do that in case you have my skin type or my skin tone and you want to know. Now, interestingly enough, remember I said it looked extremely yellow, but this is 26 NM Neutral Medium, and yet it seemed yellow when I first put it on. It looks much better now than it did, so I don't know, but just want to let you guys know. So once again, as I said, I've moved. We know this. I've talked about it. Again, squirrel moments, you are used to them. Here's the thing. What I want most for my life right now is peace. That is the one thing that is completely lacking in my life, is that serenity, that peace, the ability for me to just come home, plop myself on my bed, because that's what I have at the moment, and do something that I want to do, whether it be watching TV or watching my friends' YouTube videos, or if I want to come home and film and just not have the amount of stress that I currently have in my life. I know that many of you are going through so many different stressful situations, and my thoughts are always with you guys. But again, this is just me talking about my stressors, my life, and my current situation. Now, if the lighting would stay like this, it would be great, but then I can't really see stuff in my mirror. I'll figure it out eventually. So let me just start by telling you what happened just before I wanted to film. My apartment's still a complete wreck, by the way. When it's going to be put away and settled and looking good, I don't know. So right now I'm kind of navigating the boxes and everything else. Well, I had a little, as a matter of fact, it was one of the Huda Beauty like clear zip up bags that I had some extra nail stuff. Like the day before I moved, I dumped everything into it and just threw it in a box. Well, it was kind of balancing on another box, and as I walked by, I knocked it over because right now, legs are still not working properly. They are so much better than they were, but my left leg is much worse than my right leg, and things are just not going well. I have the dropsies with my hands. I have broken glasses. I knock things over. I'm just extremely klutzy right now, and it's very, very frustrating, and it's very emotional for me most of the time. I mean, just most people just dropping a glass wouldn't make them burst into tears. Currently, in my current situation, mentally and otherwise, that happens to me. By the way, I'm sorry, I'm using my Lancome Teint Idole concealer. I'm using it in Buff and Buff Neutral. Right now, the simplest of things is making me just lose my damn mind. And so anyway, I went to pick it up since it kind of fell, and of course it fell out of my hands, and I guess the way it hit the floor, because I have all wooden floors in my apartment, which is beautiful because I don't have a rug to vacuum and have it all collect cat hair and stuff. I need a rug in here so that it's not so echoey. I noticed that in my videos when I'm editing, it's very echoey, not like my other house that had a ceiling that absorbed the sound. I don't know what I'm going to do yet. I'll figure it out at least once I get this whole place cleaned up, hopefully. The way it hit, one of my favorite colored polishes, it's like this iridescent orange. I guess it broke. It snapped actually the neck off of it, but I didn't realize it. I went to pick it up. The bag was kind of open, and all over my hands and all over my floor was this iridescent polish just leaking everywhere. So I wasn't so worried about my hands or the stuff that was in the bag, got some paper towels, cleaned it up before it even had a chance to dry. So the floors are okay, but then everything in that bag, which is other nail polishes and stuff, so it's fine, was all covered in the polish. I threw the polish in the garbage, which annoys me. That's besides the point. Now I have all of this iridescent stuff all over my hands. Why I thought it was a good idea, oh yeah, I'm going to use this cream bronzer from Chantecaille. Don't ask. That's another long story. This is the anti-aging face tint. We will not discuss the price. Again, I'm not going to tell the story. Look at the little jar it comes in. Spectacularly beautiful. Anyway, why I thought it was a good idea to wash my hands. I had nail polish on them. That was a stupid thing to do. I'm using my NYX brush. It's kind of like a fluffy brush. This looks so incredibly dark, but wait, you're going to be surprised. The weird thing about this stuff is it's like putting ice water on your face. It has like the coolest wet texture to it. It's pretty gosh darn amazing. I will suggest wiping some off first, of course, because if not, you're going to look like you dipped yourself in some milk chocolate. You know, it's not a bad idea, actually. I wouldn't mind that. Anyway, so yours truly goes to wash your hands and then realizes, you ass, you have nail polish on your hands. You can imagine what that looked like. So then I had to take, I don't know where my bottle of acetone is, but I do have the little wipes, so I had to use like 3 or 4 of them to try to get that feeling of the nail polish off of my hands. I think it worked fairly well, but who knows? This stuff is just freaking spectacular. I can't believe it. I paid for it. I think I might have, I don't know what happened. Let's just say people have influence on you when you're in a store. So I won't eat for the next month, but hey, you know, that's okay. I have been just busting out some stuff again as I'm finding, and I'm like, hey, you know, why don't I try using that? But this is the Dragun Beauty, the Transformation Mason. Nope. I'm not building anything at the moment. The Dragun Beauty Transformation Face Powder. This does have a cute little mirror. It has a peachy and a yellow powder. I have noticed that peachy powders are looking good on my face because I've been looking very pale and sallow, and peach also tends to disguise some of my discoloration on my face. I don't know if it's meant for setting. Doesn't matter though, you know. So finally sit down to start filming. I turn on my camera and my memory card is full. And I don't know where my other memory cards are, so I had to go hunt down a new one. I'm not really going to set my under eyes. I'm just using the Blendiful, which mine is ripping, and I'm kind of sad because they don't, this is from Tati Beauty and they don't sell them anymore, and so I can't get another one. For blush, I'm going to use my Pat McGrath palette that my amazing friend Clara Barrera sent me. This is the Divine Blush and Glow. Beautiful palette, nice neutrally colors that kind of go for every day for, you know, things that I use. And see if I can find a thingy here. I'm going to use this Flower brush with the little daisies on it. I do want to take the pinkier blush, I know. It is not going to go with my shirt. Just okay at the moment, you know what I mean? I'm using a pinky palette too, so we know that's not going to go either. So I have had the week from hell, the month from hell. As I said, you know, I want peace, my friends. I'm waiting for that moment when, as I said, I can just live my life and not live it in chaos and confusion and stress and everything else. Will that ever happen? Who knows? I know the whole world has stress. I'm going to stop apologizing for the fact that I know other people are going through things because I've said it already and I don't want to just keep repeating myself. But again, just talking about me for the moment. Do I want to use this highlighter or do I want to use another one? I'll save the highlighter for last. So 6 weeks ago to the day yesterday, as a matter of fact, I was driving back from my old house because again, I'm still going back and forth every weekend, sometimes both days, to continue the clear out and try to do the best I can. Again, I'm doing it alone and it is a daunting task. Not only do I not have the energy, it's emotional, it's draining, and it is a lot. So I'm on the way back about a little over, as I said, a month ago, and all of a sudden I start hearing this whistling noise from my car. Like, I thought it was the radio. I didn't know what it was. I thought it was from the outside another car, so I lower my radio. Actually, I listen to YouTube videos when I drive. No, I don't sit there and watch them. I do listen to them. Anyway, so I'm like, that's weird. So I continue driving. Now I'm pretty close to home. I'd say I'm maybe 3/4 of the way from my old house to where I am now. And all right, that's weird. So I make it home. And then the next morning, that was a Sunday. The next morning I go to work and I live on a hill. So I have to go uphill to start driving to work. And again, the whistling noise, every time I step on the pedal, the whistling noise gets louder. And I'm noticing that there's no power in my car. The harder I press on the gas, I'm really not going anywhere and the whistling noise is louder. So I get to work because I didn't have time to stop. And then after work, I decided to go to the gas station, service center that's pretty close to my house. And the guy checks it out. It's been a while and I'm sitting around waiting. I'm just kind of walking around. Luckily, it's a walkable area. And he tells me, so you need a new engine. I say, excuse me? Now, I want to tell you, my car is 5 years old. I'm still paying for it. And I only had, at that time, 49,000 miles. It had just turned over to 49,000 miles. So I am no mechanic, obviously, but I can tell you, just from a layman's, something in my eyeball, layman's point of view, that at 49,000 miles, you should definitely not need a new engine. And he's like, did you take it to your dealer yet? He goes, I'll give you a better deal than your dealer will. It's like, well, I'm not just going to say, go ahead and replace my engine for like $3,000, $4,000, maybe $5,000. I'm going to take it to my dealer and see what they say. So I try calling dealerships for my car. Now, believe it or not, in my area, within a reasonable amount of traveling, there's only like 3 dealerships probably within a 50 to 60 mile radius, which I'm saying to myself, damn, that's like kind of ridiculous. This is my Roen Beauty Wow Brow. I wasn't really sure about it when I first got it, but honestly, I kind of like it. It has a little baby marco tip and I think it does a decent job. Again, my lighting is definitely not well at the moment. Hopefully, no, not hopefully, because I'll explain that later. There's so much crap I need, and you guys have been awesome, by the way, with all the suggestions that you've been making for furniture, and you guys are just amazingly wonderful. Hence the reason I call you that all the time. Regardless, I like the brow pencil. Wow. So I tried calling out to dealerships to get my car, and now I said to the guy, I said, can I drive my car? He was like, just don't go over 5 miles an hour. It goes, because you're not going to get any power, and you're going to like completely blow your engine. I'm like, fabulous. So wherever I have to take my car, I'm going to have it towed. So before I continue that lovely story, can we talk about the C'est l'Amour palette from Gourmande Girls? Christina Gourmande is a lovely woman. I bought this myself. I don't get PR, and I love supporting a small business, and her shadows are amazing. I have like 3 or 4 palettes. She just came out with the restock for the Spooky palette that is in collaboration with Doodles the Bunny, who is on Instagram. I haven't been able to get that one yet because it's, I think, $54 or $59. So I haven't gotten that yet, but I am enjoying the bejeebies out of this one. This is a beautiful color story. It has just a duochrome goodness here. That is a topper, but wait till you see this amazing, like, look at that shift. Oh, so stunning. I love throwing that on after I complete my look. So I think I'm going to take Soiree, which is this brownie color here, and I'm going to like start on the outer corner of my eye instead of doing the light first. Is there a method to my madness? I don't know, it's just what I feel like doing. This, obviously, this setup isn't very good either because, like, I can't, hello, why did you just fall? Okay. I like to be able to look straight on, and in my current situation I can't, so I guess we're just gonna have to deal with it. Anyway, every dealership, the 3 of them that I call, no one has an appointment for like almost 2 weeks out. My car needs to be towed. Can I at least tow the car there? And like, we don't have any room to store it. So finally, one dealership that I called says, yes, I can store my car there, but they won't even be able to look at the car for almost 2 weeks. Kind of the same as everyone else, but at least I could like bring the car there, you know what I mean? So now I have to arrange to rent a car because they said they had no loaners. Great, right? So now, again, I have to find myself a rental place, and oh my goodness, the amount it costs to rent a car blew my socks off. Am I paying a mortgage on a house, or am I renting a car? Really? You know, what really pissed me off is that I had planned on doing so many things. I wanted to go to my storage unit, clean up my damn storage unit, so that I stopped paying the money, that exorbitant amount of money that I'm paying for that as well. As you can see, there's so many levels and so many layers to everything that I have to do. And one thing after another, it's like the shit hits the fan and just everything starts to fall apart all at the same time. And literally, like, I want to come home and I want to just break down and cry. And yes, I do that, but I still keep getting my ass out of bed because I refuse to let myself get defeated no matter how bad things are getting. It is not easy, but I refuse. I'm now using my Pat McGrath brush, which is just fluffy goodness, just to blend some of this out. You know what? Maybe I will just take my little ass out to dinner tonight and treat myself. I shouldn't, can't afford it, but I may do it anyway, because we can't take it with us. Anyway, so they bring the car there. I get a call about, I don't know, 2-3 hours later for them to tell me that they received my car, which I was grateful because I went to rent the car, then I drove myself back, called the tow truck to come tow my car and get it to the dealership. So, but first I had to clean out my car because, again, I had everything that I was transporting from the old house to my apartment. Long story short, the guy calls me, goes, we'll probably look at it tomorrow. I'm like, wow, they told me that they weren't even going to be able to look at it until like 2 weeks. I was like, that's amazing. So the next day he calls me and he says, so we took a look at the car and it appears you need a new turbo. That's why you're getting the whistling. That's why there was no power. Now, what I found out through my own research is that there's actually a current class action lawsuit on the car, the make of my car, because it was a defect and it's causing people's cars to burn oil and also for the engines to seize or have happened to what mine that it did. Did that make sense? So I was like, he's like, okay, so we don't have the part in stock, so we got to order the part. I'm like, okay, that's great. I'm going to get into my conspiracy theory. I think I'm going to call myself the conspiracy theorist from now on because I have so many of them that I think occur. So now days go by without me hearing much of anything. I am going to take this color Rosé, which is that lighter peach, and I'm going to go above just to kind of, I don't know, do whatever. So now they tell me, I get another call and they tell me that they don't have the part and they don't know when they're going to get it. And I'm like, okay. Now they're not covering my rental. And I rented the car for, I think, two weeks. I'm like, okay, let's start with that. I figured, how long can it take? Never, never asked the question, how long can it take? And also, I will tell you, never ask the question, what else could go wrong? Never say that. Just never say it. I'm going to take the color Noir and on one of my Refer brushes. Refer is having a sale, by the way. I am so tempted to order their brushes, but I can't do it. I cannot do it. Somebody talked me out of it, damn it. So silly me was over here thinking that I was going to get my car back quickly and it was going to be just such a smooth and easy process. Well, I can tell you that I finally got my car back yesterday. And now the almost $1,500 I spent on my rental car, I now have to fight the company to pay for, but we're going to get into that in a minute because for the last 10 days I actually did get a loaner from them. I'd like to go into the story of what happened the day that I had to swap the rental car for my loaner car. I'm going to take Boudoir and I'm going to put that on my lid. So what they told me was that because of COVID, everybody blames everything on COVID at this point. Because of COVID, there was a shortage of parts and a supply chain, and they cannot get the part. And that they will call me when they finally do. And weeks went by before I heard anything from them. And here's my conspiracy theory. What I found out was that the problem was most definitely covered by my warranty. I have a very good warranty on my car. And here's what I think, guys. The dealership is not making any money on when they fix a car that is covered by warranty. So guess what they're going to do? They're going to push my car to the back of the line, and they're going to take care of the cars that come in that people are actually paying for, and they're going to do those first. Do I actually believe that it took 5 weeks? Because once they actually got the part, it took them over another week to actually do the job. Do I think that it took them that long to get the part? No. In my mind, I really and truly, and I'm trying not to be like this, like, everyone's against me type of thing, but I really believe that if I was paying for my car to be fixed, I would have had it back in a few days. Why are they going to put their effort into taking care of a car that they're not going to make any money on? They're going to be paid, basically, they have to wait to get paid by the car whatever it is, the company that makes my car, because it's covered under warranty. Now, can I prove that by any sense of the word? Of course not. So why am I talking about it? Because I have to vent and I have to tell you what I think really occurred. And you guys have to tell me if that's your thought or not. Like, what do you think is the reason? I'm going to take the Oui color, which is that gorgeous iridescence, like, goodness, and I'm just putting that on top. And it just completely, like, changes the whole look of it. It's amazing. Did you notice there was no fallout whatsoever? Now, you must be saying, great. You had a loaner, granted it cost you $1,500. Now you have your car back. Well, let me tell you about the day that I had to swap out my rental car for the loaner that they so graciously gave me almost, I think, 9 to 10 days before they actually finished my car. And I'm telling you, you're going to say, Leann, you're making it up. There was absolutely no possible way that all of this could have possibly happened. Oh, it does. I'm actually taking this brush that I got from Ipsy. First, I'm taking Creme de la Creme, and I'm going to kind of put that on my brow bone. Then I'm going to go over it with another color, but I'm going to put it on my inner corner too. But this color Feminine, which is a very sparkly type of white iridescence, I want to put that just along my brow bone. Okay, so they let me know on a Tuesday that they had a loaner for me. I'm also putting this in my inner corner. And I was like, great. They're like, but you have to come by tomorrow or else we can give it away. I'm like, great. So when I rented my car, I was told that I had to drop it off at the location that I picked it up. Now, I didn't have anybody to drive me because the dealership location was not really close to me or really conducive to being able to get there. And so, oh my goodness gracious, I had my car towed. So I picked up the rental car in one location. Now, getting it to that location and then taking an Uber all the way to the dealership, I'm like, that's going to cost me almost $200. And it's like, I just can't do that. And there was nobody to drive me. Also from Chantecaille, I got talked into, I shouldn't say talked, I'm a grown woman who can make her own decisions. Stupid ones, but I can make them. This is called Le Stylo liquid eyeliner. I mean, just look at the packaging. It's beautiful. It's very lightweight, but it's pretty. And it's got a beautiful little fine tip on it. And it's on the stiff side so that it's not too bendy. Anyway, what's great is I just kind of press it to my lid and it just goes on. It's amazing. So I'm rushed in a decision to make to go get the loaner. Now, if I didn't go pick up the loaner and I tried to fight the company to get my money back, which I still have to do now for the rental, they would have said, well, you had a loaner available to you, so why didn't you go do it? So I had to stop filming and break up a cat fight because I really think my cats are starting to feel the pressure and the stress that I'm under because they are just driving me up a freaking wall. So what I was talking about beforehand was my experience going to switch the cars. I had to figure out how to get myself to the dealership to pick up my car, but be able to return my rental to a different place. When I Googled the name of the rental car and it brought up a bunch of places near me, I clicked on the first one. Why it would bring up a different rental car when I Googled the name of the rental car, I don't know. Because my brain is so freaking cluttered and confused, I was like, oh, okay, it's only about 10 minutes away. So I worked with the dealership and I said, so can somebody take me to the rental car place after I transfer everything from the rental car to the loaner car they were going to give me, and then somebody can get me back. Well, she said, sure. They close at 5 o'clock. I get out of work at 3:30. So I leave work, I go with my rental car to the dealership to get my loaner car. It's now, I hit traffic, of course I did. So now it's about, I don't know, 4 o'clock or so. This liner is really cool for a liquid liner. It works super, super well for me, especially because just a lot of things. I like it, let's just say that. I'm actually using the Morphe setting spray, which I finally found. When I finally get to the dealership, they take a ridiculous amount of time to get me the loaner. But at the time, I wasn't stressing that much because I'm like, okay, the rental car place is only 10 minutes away. It should be fine, right? So I'm like, okay. She gives me the telephone number for me to call when I'm ready to be picked up and brought back to the dealership. Okay. First of all, she hands me the key. Now the car is in front of one of the bays to the dealership, the loaner that they're going to give me. So I transfer everything out of the rental car and put it into the loaner. And she's just like, bring the key back. Well, I thought I was looking for, I transferred everything. I'm trying to rush so I can get over to the rental place to return the car. I thought that she took the key to the loaner. I didn't know where it was, so I couldn't lock the car, which has all my stuff in it now. And so I'm like, okay, I couldn't find the key, so they must have it. I get to the rental place. Again, there was a lot of traffic, so I'm kind of rushing. Now it is 4:30. 4:30, okay? I walk in and he's helping somebody else. He comes in and he goes to check. He's like, this isn't ours. I'm like, what are you talking about? I Googled it, and I pull up what I Googled. It was the wrong rental place. Why would the wrong rental place come up when I actually Googled the name? I put rental places near me. I put the name of the rental place. I said, where is the nearest one that I'm supposed to go to? He goes, that's 20 minutes away. I'm like, oh my God. I get in my car, I put the directions in my phone, and I admit it, driving like a lunatic because I have to get this car back to the rental place before 5, before it closes, because if I get there, then what am I going to do? All of my stuff is now in the car, which I think they have the key, which I think I have to go back and get. So I'm rushing, I get to the new place, and I call her, and I was like, look, oh my goodness, you guys have the key to the loaner car, but I'm here. I'm not going to make it before 5 o'clock. She's like, actually, you have to have the key because you didn't give it to us, and so it's actually blocking the bay, and we couldn't move it. I'm like, are you kidding? So I dig through my bag, and yeah, there's the key to the loaner car. I have been using this Wet n Wild mascara like crazy. It's the one from the Care Bears, but I'm pretty sure that they have it in regular. This stuff is freaking amazing, I have to tell you. I'm not even going to put primer on because even if I do walk myself down to go get some dinner, I don't care. I get to the rental place with 5 minutes to spare. I'm breathing heavy. I'm sweating like a pig. It was ridiculous. So guess what's the one thing that I forgot to do? I forgot to fill it up with gas to bring it back the same way I got it. So the guy who in the rental place was really, really sweet and really, really nice. I mean, I was practically in tears when I walked into the place. And he's like, unfortunately, I have to charge you $65 for the gas because you didn't bring it back the way it was. Like, whatever. And he said, and also because you're bringing it to a different location with which you got it, I have to charge you an extra $20. I'm like, at this point, I just don't care anymore. I'm like, I just don't care. As I said, I'm practically in tears. So we finish up. He's closing up. He's like ready to go at this point. The poor man just wants to get out of the store. In the back of my mind, I'm going, now, the dealership is now closed, and besides, they're not going to come 20 minutes to get me all the way like 3 towns over from where they are. So I'm like, how the hell am I now going to get back to the dealership? Because now I'm freaking out because the car is open, it has all my stuff in it, and I'm going, what if somebody like steals everything from my car? So I walk outside, he closes up, and then I'm looking for stuff from my phone. I thought I took everything out. I left my charger from my phone. My phone is almost dead and it's in the car. So I'm banging on the door because I thought maybe he'd have gone out like the back way. I'm like, I'm so sorry. I left my charger in the car. He graciously opens the car and lets me get my charger. Thank goodness, because that would just be like just another thing. So now I'm like, how am I going to get back to the dealership? I call an Uber. Now, this isn't New York City. I'm not in the Bronx anymore. I don't think Uber is like a big thing. And it comes up as a charge of $65. That seems to be my magic number. I don't have a choice. I need to get there. And it's about 20 minutes away. So now I'm standing in this abandoned strip mall because everything is closed. And it's starting to get dark now because it's getting darker, you know, as the time goes on. I'm going to use the other lipstick that I got from my friend Clara, her collection. This one's called Passion. I'm not going to line my lips because I'm going to put this on very sheerly, and I'm going to put something like a gloss on top of it. So now I'm again getting to the point where I'm about to just cry, because you ever get to that point where so many things are happening to you at the same time that your brain gets so overwhelmed and you can't think to do anything else to do but just break down. I'm trying to maintain some calmness, and I'm trying to do everything I can to achieve that, and it's not working. It is such a pretty color, especially, as I said, when I sheer it out, so it works perfectly for me. I don't know where my other glosses are, so I just keep using this one. This is from the Glam Light collection. So the Uber comes, the Uber gets me to the dealership, and I like rush to the car and look, and thank the Lord, okay, that everything was still there. And I had the key, and I got in my car, and that's when I absolutely lost it. I just literally just broke down in tears after the whole day, the whole stress of everything. I'm sitting there sobbing. The dealership is closed, so there's no one around me. That's just when it all hit me. I mean, this is the finished look, and I really think I am going to walk myself down to get dinner because I look pretty gosh darn good, if I do say so myself, and I can't even speak, but I like the way I look. So as I'm driving home, I'm saying to myself, I maxed out the only credit card I have with that $1,500 that I had to lay out for the rental. I'm thinking to myself, how do I now go about getting the money back? I still don't have my car back. I have the loaner. All of these things are going through my head. Luckily, my friend Kara, while I was waiting for the Uber, I called her frantically just because I needed somebody to talk to at that moment, and I am so grateful to God that she picked up and that she was there to like basically calm myself down. But I was off the phone with her when I finally got in my car to go home because I needed to use my phone to now get myself back home because I don't have the GPS in the loaner car like I do in my regular car, which I realized how much I depend on. So I get myself home, and I basically just like, I had so many plans to do so many things that night, but I was so mentally and physically exhausted that I just took off my clothes. I didn't even take off my makeup, whatever was left after I cut it all off. I crawled into bed and I went to sleep. And that was my day from hell. And you know, I was going to go into so many other things that have just been occurring. And again, I say to myself, can I get a break? Why is this happening? And of course, there's no reason, there's no answer for it. It's just the way my life is going. I keep talking about seeing the light at the end of the tunnel, seeing the forest through the trees. I keep trying to see a happy ending, just an end to all the stress and the grief and everything else. And it's not there yet. But again, I don't give up. I don't know how I've been getting through all of this, because I said 6 weeks later, I finally have my car back. And yes, I'm grateful for that. But now there's a whole other road ahead of me that I don't know how I'm going to face it. I don't know how I'm going to take it on, but I'm going to. And there's a couple of things I'm grateful for. My friends, and for you guys. And I consider you guys my friends, even though I've never met most of you in person. So with that, I express my eternal gratefulness to you guys for listening to me, for letting me tell my story, for hopefully you enjoying the look that I created, because I really kind of like it. I'm kind of happy with it, and I'm going to go get some nummies because I'm hungry and I think it's 8 o'clock at night. I would go over everything that I just used, but I'll probably put that, hopefully, maybe, no promises, into like favorites and fails. I will tell you, of course, I love the C'est L'Amour palette. I've used it many times, and this one is going to be on my high list of things that I'm going to keep using for sure. If you guys have any questions about anything, you know that I'm going to link everything below. Most of them, not all of them. The Gourmande Girls is not an affiliate link whatsoever, but I will link Clara's code because she does have a code with them in case you're interested in trying any of their products. But you guys are amazingly wonderful people that I cannot possibly wholly express my gratitude for. And of course, my friends, whatever part of the world you're in or around, I hope you're having an amazing day or an amazing night, depending upon when you're watching this. Please just stay safe, stay well, share your stories below, comment on anything you'd like. I love you, and I'll see you soon in my next one. Whoo, I got through it. Much love, everybody. Bye.